Hello. Here I am again. And this time I wanted to record with the background. This is the sunrise from my deck. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, I love that. But I realize that it creates effects when you use a background while you're recording, but it's kind of fun. Anyway, the thing that I wanted to talk about today was whether I want to compete next year or not. I think I really do, because it was such a positive experience for me this year. I learned so much from it. I learned a lot about my inner self. And I ended up using that Toastmaster experience in contest in a talk I did for Unity. Very powerful talk. And it was about getting outside of your comfort zone. And that's one thing that I've heard of a lot about in Toastmasters is if the idea of doing something makes you uncomfortable, you should do it. Well, there's a lot of things that make me uncomfortable, and some of them I know I'm not going to do. But others, it's like, oh man, do I really want to do that? And that's how I felt about contests this year. And then Lindy McLean, a good friend and the third place international finisher last year, advised me to try it. She said, if you do, you will learn so much from crafting a speech, from listening to others, for allowing people to give you feedback and then making changes based on that. You'll learn so much, not just about crafting a speech, but about yourself. Good advice. I'm glad I listened. And my husband asked me last night, do you think he'll compete again next year? And I said, yeah, I think so. It was such a valuable experience. And I know a piece of feedback that I got from that, giving that speech was at district. One of my fellow Toastmasters, not from my club, but I know him from a couple other clubs. Oh, and from storytelling. He's a storyteller. Anyway, he came up to me afterwards, virtually, of course, since we're not in person. And we talked after everyone else had left the meeting. And he told me that my speech had changed his life. I was blown away. I know it had a wonderful message. It was a powerful message. But to have someone I knew tell me that, and he told me all about his life and what had been happening to him and how depressed he was and how much it helped for me to give that speech. How could I not compete? I have heard several different times in my life, I've had people come up to me and say, you changed my life. And that's really what that speech started with, was a woman who I had known years ago in school came up to me at a reunion and told me that I was the only one who ever smiled at her and that I changed her life. You feel the tears. So I've had this happen a number of times. I've had a couple of speeches where someone has come up to me afterwards and said, I'm changing something because of your message. And that one, at least one of those, yes, I wanted people to hear that message. It's kind of specific. and fit that audience, but I don't think it would fit an international audience. But I do have some messages I'd like to give people that would be for a bigger audience, a more worldwide audience. So yes, I think I will compete again next year. I'm starting to think about ideas of what my speech could be about already. I have 2 or 3 ideas and I want to try them out before I get to contests. So I'll be massaging speeches so that I can win, so that I have an opportunity to reach a wider audience. And that's partly why I'm doing this, so that I can figure out what my direction is. Because there's other questions in my life. It isn't just Toastmasters and giving speeches. All right. See you next time. And how do I turn this off? I always have a hard time finding it.